Today we're brewing in my backyard on the new Gen 4 BREWZILLA. And it's been pretty cool so far. So some things we wanted to go over is just kind of the mash itself and what we've set up. We'll do some close-ups using the screen. Cool thing about this system is it's dual compatible. You can use the app on your phone or on a laptop. It's not really an app, it's a progressive website, so even easier. Nothing to download. But you can also do everything right there on the screen, which personally I love, meaning you can brew anywhere with this. You don't need to have Wi-Fi.
That's what I was gonna say, is we don't need it, right? Because we got access to the screen here. Yeah.
Exactly. So some of the things I wanted to note is, one, we decided to keep with the bag. On my Gen 3, love the bag. It helped keep the grist out. Today, I'm not so sure we really need it anymore, but habits are habits, and we're gonna find out how much grain we have in there at the end of this.
Yeah, we'll be able to test that and see.
We're, once again, trying to get our perfect Dortmunder, the Mike's Tasty Treats. So that's the batch we're brewing again today.
Batch number 2.
And we've done a 143 for 10 minutes or so, then up to 151 for about a half hour. And now we're in the process of bringing it up to mash out. 171. So one of the things I wanted to go over was you can change what you have on the heater. The old one had rocker switches, so you could say, like, we would be here going like, oh,
just have the 500 watt
500 watt. But now we have a mash pipe that has a solid bottom without the drain hole, so less chance of stuff getting through, which, by the way, doughing in was much easier without that drain pipe in the center.
Definitely.
So that's going to hold back more grain. We have the bag, which that's going to hold back a ton more. And then we have a false bottom. Then we have a concave bottom, which a mirror finish, and a center drain that goes to the pump. So the chances of scorching are pretty low at this point. So we didn't do anything. We left it at 100% power for the whole mash. So we're going to see if there's tasting notes. This is a light beer, so we should be able to visually see it and flavor see it. So we're gonna find out, but I brewed on the 220 version of it, and I didn't pick up anything, whether it's in the grain, dumping it out later, of any kind of scorch
Keeping
notes,
the heating elements at 100%.
At 100%. Yeah. So for now, I'm not worrying about it. I'm just gonna keep it there. The other thing we've decided to do is keep the pump at 100%. The pump itself, it is, if you change the speed on it, you're really changing time that it gets power. So 50% is 1 second off, 1 second on.
Yeah, it's not drawing back the power to it and slowing the propellers, or impellers. It's just feathering it.
Yeah. Exactly. So I would rather just use the ball valve on the side if I feel it's flowing too fast and I need to slow it down. But I'm also noticing it's handling it quite fine. On this one, I think I'm going to go away from needing rice holes every batch. I think we're gonna just go on most standard batches to not needing it. Today we had flaked.
There's a little, I think it was like 1 pound of flaked wheat, which I think he's putting in there for like head retention, body, thing like
exactly.
that. Exactly.
So since we did that, we put a ½ pound of rice holes in.
Hazy IPA or something like that, though, I'd put a full pound probably.
Exactly.
40% of your grist.
But I would do that in my igloo cooler. I would do that on my
anything.
Rice
holes are your friend.
Exactly. Yeah. I would do that on my brew-built sculpture, so it doesn't really matter.
One of the other things to note about the new Gen 4 is more capacity. So the previous one was around 17, 18 pounds of grain you can get in there max. Now we can do 23 pounds. So bigger beer, you're able to do barley wines, things like that easier.
One thing you'll notice if you watched our other videos is we're no longer on my box. Which I love the box for brewing because it brought our control panel up, and we're both pretty tall guys. And so this one, though, really cool. We're brewing on the ground, easy for us to read. It angles up for us to be able to see it better, or you can just take it off and look. So it's awesome in that regard. And what this will make it easier is when we pull out that mash basket, not only is it 2-stage, but also we can do it right from the ground instead of hopping up on the box to get it out of here. So a really cool thing, since it's sitting on the ground, now you're like, oh, well, how are you gonna get the beer out of it? And one of the tricks you could do on the old version is to rig up a transfer line from here into whatever you're gonna go into. But most of us would just lift it up high enough so gravity feeds right into what it's gonna go to. But one of the cool things is the pump is actually in line with the valve down here. So we'll be able to pump out of that and up. I don't know the height yet of how high it can go, but I do know it'll fill up to something sitting right next to it at the same height.
Yeah, and if you wanted to use like a plate chiller or something like that too, since you have that pump, you can. It comes with a immersion, so there's no need to, but you can use
Some
that.
people have them already, and a plate chiller, counterflow chiller, whatever you want to go through. Now you'll be able to do it easier than having to rig something separate.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that wraps up mashing here on the BREWZILLA, but be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button because we're going to have more on sparging, boiling, and transferring out of here.